Hi everybody, it's David Fleming here from the Toronto Realty blog, and welcome to this week's Pick 5. Now this week, guys, I want to go to the east side. I know people say I have an east side bias. Not necessarily true. Most of the work I've been doing lately has been on the west side. I've been in High Park, I've been in Bloor West Village, I've been in Babby Point, and as you know from watching last week's Pick 5, these are all the same area. Yeah, west side, that's what people talk about. They talk about basically from the Humber River, or let's say Jane, including Babby Point, Babby Point? Baby Point, right. All the way over to Kiel, including south of there. So you've got Swansea. It's a big area. Now, not biased towards the west side, as I said. I'm going back to the east side where, yes, for years, this was the area that I talked about more, and that was because of price, to be perfectly honest. For the longest time, as I've mentioned on many occasions, there were some incredible deals looking north of Danforth, areas like streets like Milverton, Gleebholm, Strathmore, Springdale. Those streets, God, I remember putting people in houses with prices that started with a 5. It was absolutely incredible. And so prices have caught up, obviously. In areas like Riverdale, Leslieville, and the areas in between where we're going to look today, they have increased massively. So the subject of today's blog, as you've seen from the headline there, is we're going to look at east side properties under $1 million. And we've played this game before many times. Can I get that for under $1 million? So when the market was busy in the spring, a lot of $799 listings were selling for 1.15. You'd say, Jesus, $350,000 over the list price. I mean, you're almost talking 150% sale to list ratios. Those days are pretty much over for the most part. But there is one sale I want to draw your attention to. It's this one here, guys, 9 Clinton Street. You can see list to sale ratio of 147%. This is an outlier in this market. We are not seeing this happen anymore. And to be perfectly honest, I think that the agents listed this at $599 either because it was strategic or because maybe they had no idea what it was worth. And, you know, no fault to them. I mean, this is a house with an unfinished basement that, 18 by 100 foot lot, no parking. Yeah, well, you want to take a look, let's go through it. It was right next to a pizzeria. I mean, there was nothing wrong with this house, but it needed work, okay? See, there's the kitchen. You have no idea what someone's willing to pay for this. And so for some real estate agents, you say, well, I have no idea what it's worth. Let's price it at the proverbial $1, which is what they did here, $599 selling for $882. So back to my point, guys, about the sale to list ratios. We're not seeing those $799 listings for the most part sell for 1.1. Today I'm going to show you 5 properties that are listed between $799 and I think we're going up to $899 on the east side. And I want to look at what do we think these are going to sell for and why. Okay, so let's go to our map here, guys. And I'm going to show you roughly where we're going to look. So we have prime Riverdale, as we know, is Danforth to Pape. You actually have this little pocket in here before you get into the Blake Street School District, which is what people looking in prime Riverdale want to try to avoid. So for the most part, it goes down Pape. And Riverdale basically ends at Gerrard. Now you've got this little interesting area in here between Gerrard and Dundas. So it's not really Leslieville. People might call it Leslieville, but we have houses to look at today on both First and West. So what do people call this area? Is it Little Chinatown? Yes, Broadview and Dundas, home to many little Chinese stores, residents too, I would assume. I don't really know that this has a particular name. People still, for the most part, call it Riverdale. And then we're going to get into Leslieville. Leslieville proper, which I've always said is between Dundas and Eastern, with Queen Street obviously being as close as you want to be to Queen Street, that is. A house here on Bolton would be worth more than, say, a house here on Bolton, or a house, well, Bolton doesn't go down here, but you get the idea, you want to be near Queen. So we'll go off the beaten path a little bit. I believe there's a house around here as well, but for the most part, this is where we're going to be looking. So here's our map, guys. We've got 2 clustered here. 2 always shows up as 3 on the MLS map. A little frustrating. 1, as I said, here up in Riverdale. 1 right on the Leslieville sticker. And then 1 up here, which will be real interesting on Ashdale to see. This is out of Leslieville. It's sort of in Little India. I would hazard a guess the listing says Leslieville. We'll come back to that point. So let's take a look here. As I said, starting at $799, going to $899. And I'm going to trick you on the first one. I'm going to trick you. I'm telling you that in advance, so do not be surprised. Here we have 491 Pape. What have we got? Semi-detached 2-story, okay. 20-foot width. It's not 14, okay? It's 20. That's a great width. It's only a 2-bed, 2-bath, but it does have a finished basement. They say private driveway. I don't know. I can't really see so good. Tell me if that's a private driveway. No, I don't know where it is. I would assume what they meant is that they have a garage in the back. It says drive. Oh, here we go. Garage space 1, drive 1, total parking spaces 2. I have no idea, but this is a front yard. This is not a parking pad. So the basement is finished, and let's go to the map here, guys. I'm going to show you exactly where this is. So it's down, there we go. Okay, so here's the jog at Carlisle. This is the no frills. And then you jog out into Riverdale north onto Pape. So because it's on Pape, this does not fall into the Prime School District. Prime School District, as you know, is Pape. Pape Street School, or sorry, Pape Avenue is right here. And then you get into, I'm going to zoom out. Let's see if will Google keep it? No. So I'm going to go over here is Withrow. So you've got Withrow and Pape are the two schools that you want to be in. Blake Street does not rank as high. Because you're playing along at home, I'm going to tell you, Blake Street ranks a 5.5 out of 10 by the Fraser Institute, which is good for 1,887th out of 2,900. I know that off by heart. There are 2,900 schools. Okay, so it's not the best school. You're also on a very busy street, but I have to think that's somewhat factored into the price. So we'll take a look at the house itself. This is a pretty decent house, guys, listed at $799. It has the enclosed kitchen, which I know some people don't like, but if you were so inclined, you could open it up. And it's a bit of a jog here. So with where this house is, where this kitchen is actually located, it kind of cuts the space. You've got an opening here and an opening here. You're going to say, I'd rather take down those walls. The question then becomes, what about storage space? So you effectively have a kitchen wall like this, which is similar to a condo. You could, if you wanted to, I guess, put an island in there. So top of the stairs, we've got a little desk for staging purposes. We've got one small bedroom, and then one bedroom for, which I believe is the master. Was that the master? That's the purple one. And yeah, so very nice high ceilings. You've got a 4-piece bathroom up there. There we go. Oh, I'm confused by the bedrooms. There it is. Okay, so I think they both have that vaulted ceiling effect, which is kind of neat. So the basement is, finished. What do you call that? Finished, semi-finished? It's pretty well finished. Okay, you have drywall. You don't have open wires hanging out. You have actual walls. You're not staring at vapor barrier and insulation. It's not the nicest, but it does the job. You can have a rec room down there. There is your 4-piece in the basement. And let's get to this parking situation. So here's the backyard. This, I don't know, I'd have to look at a survey. I don't know if that's the garage and you come in off another side, but yeah, definitely things to be desired with that back deck. But it's a decent lot. Oh, so here's what they're saying. So it's not a private driveway, it's laneway parking. So I will admit that if the lot goes to here, then yes, they do have 2-car parking, one in the garage and one behind it. Okay, so the question becomes, guys, what is this going to sell for? Listed at $799.9. Remember, I said I was going to trick you. Offers are reviewed anytime. Offers are reviewed anytime. It's been on the market for 6 days. So what's it going to sell for? I would like to think $799 or less. Is that wild or what? You can have this house for $799 or less. What are we missing here? I don't know. It looks way too good to be true to me. And unless I am missing something, which I do not believe I am, because I called and the brokerage said that this is still available. We have a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house with parking, steps to the subway for $799,900. It is unbelievable. Now, remember one of the first videos I did this year was, I think, houses under 700. That was when, sorry, not this year, this fall. That was when the market was coming off of a slow August. Then things picked back up in a crazy manner. What do we make of this? Is the market slowing down? I could tell you some stories. Last night I lost on a house in St. Mark's. There were 7 offers. We bid $1,225,000. It sold for $1,330,000. We just got blown out. House in Delaware last week, 13 offers. I could keep going. There's a lot of offers on a lot of houses. $491 Pape, available at $799. Unbelievable value. Okay, I'm not going to belabor that. Let's move on here to 24 Sproat. Great name. Sproat. 24 Sproat. Where is 24 Sproat? It is actually north of Dundas. So, not in prime Leslieville. It's close to, where's my Home Depot? There's my Home Depot. That's my jam. Now, 24 Sproat is very close to Leslieville School, which is great, except for the fact that Leslieville, by the Fraser Institute, ranks worse than Blake Street. It ranks a 4.0 out of 10, and 2,537th out of 2,900 schools. That means, quick math, 363 schools divided by pi. rank worse out of 2,900 in the province of Ontario. That's not great. But as I've discussed with my wife, our daughter, who is in this photo, I think I did that right. There's literally about that big that I can see there. We've discussed public school, private school, rankings, that sort of thing. And Jenna keeps telling me it's what goes on at home. You know, it's the home environment. For me as a kid, it was, who are your friends? What are you doing on weekends? All we ever did was play sports. Nowadays, kids today, all they do is play video games. Did you know, I know this is a tangent, do you know there is a sports league of people that play video games? This is a thing? This is a thing? Really? And they show it on TV? I mean, I thought it was weird when I was a kid when we watched guys fishing on TV. You know, Angelo Viola on The Real Fishing Show. But you're watching other people play video games? This is a sport. Oh my God. And it's a league. And they had like the video game Olympics, and my buddy sent it to me and he was like, it's amazing. Canada came second. They beat South Korea in playing video games. Oh no, I look like that screen painting. Anyways, so yes, there are better ways to judge how your kids are going to turn out than the Fraser Institute rankings, as I was alluding to before I got off on a small tangent. Like I said, when we were kids, it was about playing outdoors. It was about having fields to play sports. It was about having good facilities at the schools. Are there good after-4 programs? I was in every single night some sort of program playing different sports. I don't read as much into the school rankings as I used to, but I will say they are still important. Okay, so let's move on here. I'm going to get killed because we are way over time. Back to the actual house itself in an area with a school that ranks 4 out of 10. I love the house. So what does that say? I love this house because I think there's value here. Listed at $799. I don't see this going over $1 million. So can I get this under $1 million? Buy with my 7.5% down? Yes. I think this is a $950 to $975 house. So we're detached, semi-detached 2-story, 17 by 93 foot lot. It's a little shorter. There's no parking, and that's the big rub. So 3-bed, 2-bath. You've got the 4-piece downstairs and the 4-piece upstairs. So remember when we're looking at 2-bathroom houses, it's that 2-piece powder room that just kills us because you need that second shower. So I like the curb appeal. 17 feet is wide enough that you're not getting smushed. You actually have a usable living space. I'd probably scrap the fireplace there. A lot of big furniture with this piece, and again, the fireplace doesn't set it up, you know, as doesn't set it up for success, for having, you know, 8 people sit comfortably. When you've got this little chair here in the ottoman, I don't know, maybe that's where Dad reads the newspaper. But for the most part, people want a TV and they want 2 couches. And you do have a very big room down in the basement, which I'll show you. So the kitchen is not, it's not brand new, but I love the size of it. So check it out from here. Tons of storage space. Here, yes, it's a galley kitchen with a little peninsula, but it's huge. There's a ton of storage space. It's a good footprint. And then back here, you've got room to work with. Oops, where are we here? I mean, if you wanted a little eat-in, I don't know if you could fit it, but you've got enough room to work with there. You could make a bigger kitchen, or if you were to renovate, you could take a little space out and have that eat-in. So 3 bedrooms upstairs, nice little skylight action happening. There's your master bedroom with, again, the vaulted ceilings, very cool, nice hexagonal bay, and decent cupboard space. So bathroom upstairs, little snug with this vanity, as you can tell, about 24 inches. You get downstairs, and here's where you see your rec room. Now, how high is this bulkhead? I would like to think that maybe you can clear this just brushing the top of your hair. I'm going to take a look at this tonight and see, but it hits all the points. It's got a nice big backyard, big deck. It does not have parking, and that's the only rub. So to me, this is probably, it's probably a $950, $975 house, and it could be less for all I know. Now, the one I should have started with this. The one I wanted to, not Clinton, sorry. The one I wanted to bring up was Caroline. So Caroline sold last week in Leslieville, and it's prime Leslieville. I'll save you the map. You guys know where Caroline is. $879 sells for $1,085,000. So you're back to the $200,000 over list. 3-bed, 2-bath, does have parking. Maybe I should show you where this is. Bear with me here, guys. Okay, so 29 Caroline. Yes, it's very close to Eastern, but in terms of Leslieville proper, you want to be in between Leslie, on the west side of Leslie, and on the east side of Broadview. So if we're looking at something like Sproat, let me zoom in here. Sproat is not that far from Caroline, but it's not as prime. It's close to Gerrard. It's north of Dundas. Caroline's a little more sought after area. So Caroline itself was a really spectacular house, 18 feet wide, right? So we're looking at Sproat 17. And this thing did really well, right? It's got the open concept kitchen. It's got the mudroom at the back. And it sold for $1,085,000. So what is it, a mosquito net? I had one of those when my dad and I were in, where were we? We're in Africa, yeah. And in the middle of the night, he got caught in it. I heard him yelling. And he was like, Dave! I think he was asleep. And he was caught in the mosquito net. I guess if you're woken out of a deep sleep, maybe you think you're in a fishing net. I don't know. Okay. So Caroline, yes, sets the bar at $1,085,000, and we're back to Sproat here, and that's why I think we have to be, because there's no parking. And an adjustment for location, you've probably got to be $100,000 less. Does that sound fair? Okay, I think so. Now 249 Ashdale. Things get interesting here. Narrower, 16 feet. It's funny because it actually looks wider because of the Edwardian style. 122 deep, which is nice. 3-bed, 2-bath, a 3-piece and a 3-piece. Fine, we've got no tub. If you want to raise a baby, maybe you just do it in the sink every night like my wife and I did for 6 months. Finished basement, no parking. That's going to be the big rub here. But this is really nicely done. Except for that kitchen, which I didn't like. But I like this main floor. They've got kind of the half walls here that gives you a formal living and a bit of a separation between the dining. Nice little coffered ceiling effect here. They turn the table diagonal, which leads me to believe maybe it's not as big as they would like. Maybe it needs a bit of a new kitchen. Doesn't need, sorry. Exposed brick is a nice touch. More exposed brick in the bedroom. An old fireplace that's kind of cool, except it's a real pain to take out of the wall because the brick is right into the other brick that's in between the two houses. For the semi-detached. So now we've got 2 kids up there and a very small bedroom at the back. No, that's the tandem, actually. I believe there's a den off. I'm going to leave it up to, I'm not sure. No, sorry, that's the back wall. Okay, so the brick runs all the way through. So here's your finished basement. This looks to be really good ceiling height. Awkward kind of look here. I feel like I'm, I don't know, in like a weird futuristic Stanley Kubrick. What was 2001 Space Odyssey or something. Okay, they could have taken a better photo. I want to see what the entire room looks like. But case in point, there is a big family room. There's a second playroom. So actually, if you look down here, you've got 13:9 family and 10:10 play. So it looks like this room is separated from the other one. Again, the photos here don't really, we need a map, really. We need like a virtual tour. Photos don't really tell the story. Clawfoot tub in the basement you'll probably never use. Wait, they said 3-piece. Oh, right, because there's no shower. Right. Okay, so good news is you can give your baby a bath. Bad news is husband and wife not using this to get ready in the morning. Okay, so there's your backyard. It's pretty nice, 122 feet deep. The problem is no parking. So listed at $829, what do we think this is going to sell for? Well, first of all, where is Ashdale? Ashdale is not too far from Sproat. Actually, where was Sproat? Yeah, okay. So it is a bit different area, right? We're Jones, we're Gerrard, we're Leslieville-ish. Over here, you're into Little India, you're Coxwell and Gerrard. So, you know, still a nice street. What do we think it's going to sell for? Well, let's look at our comp here, 261 Ashdale. So this sold in the summer, and it was on the market for 49 days, which is a short eternity. Only a 14.75 by 122, so it's narrower. Unfinished basement, sold for $935. Took a different approach, listed at $959. 49 days in the market, and this had parking. They said private drive. Again, I'd have to see if that's actually a driveway. So, oops, that's Caroline. Oh, there we go. Okay, so what do we got here for Ashdale? 829. I mean, again, I think this is well into the 9s. I found this sale here. I found the sale here for a 14.75-foot lot to be impressive. I mean, it had parking. Okay, you know what? Maybe $935 to you is not that much, but look at the photos. It's not. You know, I mean, they had a really nice kitchen, but the rest of the house is a little kitschy. And the unfinished basement, to me, the unfinished basement was a huge deal. Now, when they say 2-piece in the basement, to me, that's that weird, lonely toilet in the corner and some rickety sink, you know, that slime's going to come out of in Ghostbusters or something like that. So going back to this Ashdale, I think you're going to see it somewhere in the same price point. I see this being somewhere around $950. I don't think this gets above $1 million. So far, we're doing pretty good. Okay, let's move along here to 52 West. Now this one might buck the trend of the whole selling for under $1 million thing. We're listed at $899. That's high for a list. We're only a 2-bed, 2-bath, and look, we're only a 14-foot. We're only 100-foot, and we have no car parking. But where is it? It's in this very romanticized little area, as I discussed. People kill for this. Between Gerrard and Dundas, First, West, and Degrassi. This little pocket is so quiet. There's no through traffic. And the people that love there love it a lot. Not a big house, but a gorgeous house. Really nicely done on the inside. It's also very well staged, which certainly helps. What did they say in the listing? Prepare to fall in love. Right. That should be Match.com's slogan, not necessarily a listing. Okay, so Prepare to Fall in Love. It's a really nice house. It's extremely well done. Master bedroom, vaulted ceilings seems to be the theme today, and then second bedroom. So the basement is finished. So there's your bathroom. Again, really supremely upgraded. There's your basement. It is finished. It's big. It's deep. It's got the ceiling height. It's a fully renovated house. Now, what's crazy about this, guys, and there's your little backyard. What's crazy about this is I think this is going over $1 million. I think it's going over $1 million, and the other houses, one of them was $799 sitting, 2-bed, 2-bath, around the corner. So why is this $200,000 more? It's the location and it's the renovation. People want renovated homes in this market. I have a set of clients right now. They want everything that the other people don't want. And I said, that's a tremendous asset for you. They don't want a half-done job. They don't want someone else's finishes, right? They want something that they can put work into themselves. Not the ugliest thing possible. They're not looking for a gut, but they don't want this. Most people do, though. Most people will pay big for move-in condition. And maybe that's because the way society is going today, we work so hard, we spend so much time at our jobs, we don't have time to actually do anything on the house. So this at $899, I see this going over $1 million for sure. Now we get to 216 First. Well, let's play another game. Do I want to trick you guys? Sort of. Okay, so 216 First also listed at $899. Same-ish area. One big difference. It has a third bedroom. Actually, there's two big differences. Third bedroom, only a 63.5-foot lot, and it does have parking. So this house is really nice. Really, really nice. Not the same style as West, because West was actually probably more renovated. But this is a great house, and the lot coverage on a 63-foot lot, it's absolutely massive. So we'll see when we go outside. It has a tiny little backyard. I know I'm going through this quick, but we got a motor. Basement. I love basements that have no bulkheads, right? This shows that somebody either dug this out or they renovated it and moved things around. You know, your kind of finished-ish basement, right? Like that first one with that weird green carpet and the pole, just doesn't do it for you. This is a really great basement. The problem with this house is this. Bet you didn't know that, huh? See this right here? What is this? Let's go to the map. 216 First. Here we go. Let's go to the map, and here is 216 First Ave, and here is a brick wall. But the brick wall is not your problem. It's not your problem. Let me drag my little man here. Whee! Okay. This is your problem, is that there's a development proposal for this. So most development proposals eventually turn into developments, as is the theme in the city of Toronto. So your backyard, it's not this house here, it's actually one that faces the brick wall. Your backyard is facing what is going to be a development, and it's a mid-rise proposal. I don't have a copy of it with me here. But the question becomes, are you going to pay $1 million for this house, which is really gorgeous, and, the one thing that this has that no one else does is that this falls into Pape School District. So before I get ahead of myself, I'd shown you Blake Street, Leslieville. 52 West was in the Dundas School District, doesn't rank by the Fraser Institute. Pape ranks a 9.1 out of 10, 47th out of 2,900 by the Fraser Institute. So incredible school district, awesome house, short lot with virtually no backyard, but this here, this is going to be a development, and look how close you are. What if they build a 9-story condo and you've got people looking right at you? Do you want people looking right at you? Are you going to block out the sun like Mr. Burns in The Simpsons? And will you deal with the construction? I can't answer that question. Me personally, I probably wouldn't want to, but I think there are some buyers out there that will say, maybe we'll be gone, right? By the time that we go to resell this thing, of course, you are going to end up having to deal with the resale potential for a house that looks into a construction pit. Anyways, guys, that is it for this week, believe it or not. That was pretty fast, I gotta say. So we've looked at 5 houses listed under $1 million, and I think that the one on West goes over $1 million. Pape, not going over because they're not holding back. Sproat, I don't think so. Ashdale, I don't think so. And this house on First, man, I mean, the house itself, yeah, you know, it should go over. But the fact that you've got this wall behind the building, or behind the house itself, I just, I couldn't see paying $1 million for that. So anyways, guys, that's it for me. Any questions, you know where to reach me as per usual. The market is right now, just to give you a recap, after October, it's holding firm. The average home price went up 0.6% after I think it was a 5.9% increase in the month of September over August. So fewer luxury homes being sold, higher proportion of condos to houses. I think it skews the data a little bit, but you know, we'll see in November. I'm seeing out there that there's a lot of people battling to try to buy before the end of the year. Still making offers. I made one last night with a December 20th closing. I think that's probably the last time I'll offer with a December closing. We're getting tight. We're getting into a 30, 45-day close. For some people, that'll help them breathe a sigh of relief. They don't have to rush. And for some people, they're like, I really want it to be in by Christmas. So I do expect November to be busy. Let's see what happens this week. Maybe I'll have a new couple stories, new story or two, a couple new stories or two. Trouble with words today. I gotta run. It's getting late. See you guys.